Okay, fourth grade, let's see if we can get these Carolina snowflakes put together. You should have two sets of strips woven and glued together. That was the part that we did during class. And now we're going to put them together and create the snowflake. So the way you're going to do this is you're going to put one set down on your table in front of you and make it look like a plus sign. Then you're going to take the other set and you're going to lay it on top so that it looks like an X. Okay, while you're working, you want to try to be sure that the centers of both sets of strips are matched up. Okay, as you're gluing and as you're moving the strips, don't let the center slide over on you. Try to make sure every once in a while you check it and make sure the centers are lined up. All right, then what you're going to do to start, I like to work with the set at the top. I think it's easier than working on the right or at the bottom. You're going to take the inside strips from the X, these at the top. You're going to lift them up, and you might want to kind of plan it and practice it before you actually use your glue. And you're going to take those two strips, you're going to bend them kind of away from you, and then lay the right one on top of the left one. Okay, so you're bending them kind of away from you or under, I guess, and then they overlap. All right, don't take the strips towards you and glue. That will flip it in the wrong direction. So you're flipping the strips or turning them, bending them away from you. And then once you figure out how they line up, remember they should look like a corner. It should be perpendicular. We're not overlapping them so that they're both pointing in the same direction. That's not right. You're laying the right one on top of the left one so it makes a corner, perpendicular. Once you get that figured out, you can go ahead, get the glue stick ready. Okay, rub a little glue stick on the end of that strip on the left, and then get that right strip and overlap. Get your corner and hold it there for a second or two. And then while you have it like this, you're going to use the middle strip from the plus sign, the set of strips that's underneath. You're going to glue the petal shape that you just made to that middle strip. And you want to glue it. You can actually leave it laying down on your table to do this part. You want to glue it where it naturally lines up. So you don't want to bend it, shorter or try to stretch it longer, just wherever it lines up naturally. And you can press it together. And you're gluing that petal to the middle strip. Okay, and once you get that glued, then you're going to rotate. You're going to turn it, and you're going to do it again. Now, if you want to balance it out, you could turn it all the way and do the opposite side. I think I'll try it that way, just to kind of make sure the top and bottom are connected. So again, I'm going to lift up those two strips from the X, the inside strips. I'm going to take the right one and overlap the left one. Remember, you're bending them kind of away from you, and add a little glue on the left, overlap the one on the right, hold it for just a second. You might need a damp paper towel if the glue stick gets all over your fingers. If it starts to stick to you, wipe your fingers off real quick. And remember, where it naturally lines up, check your center, and where it naturally lines up, I'm going to put the glue on the tip of the petal shape and then kind of lift up that middle strip and connect. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the other two, and then we'll move on. Okay, here I'm finishing that last petal, gluing it to the middle strip. I have all four glued. My centers are still lined up. Make sure that it has a chance to stick, and then what you're going to do is flip the whole thing over. Flip it upside down, Basically, you're going to take the set that was just your plus sign, you're going to turn it, so now it's your X. The only thing left on the other side is that middle strip, and so you basically do the same thing on this side. You take the inside strips from the X. Again, I like to work on the top set, bend them, remember, not towards you, but away from you. You kind of flip them, line up the corner, give it a chance to stick, and then you kind of lay it down on that straight strip behind. Don't try to pinch it or stretch it too much, just let it lay down, and that's where it gets glued. And you're going to do that on all 4 of the X that you have left. Basically doing the same thing you did on the other side, and then it will be all connected. So glue the 2 strips, let it lay down on that center strip underneath, put a little glue behind the tip, and glue it down. Now don't worry if your centers have a little space in between. If I turn it this way, you can see there's a little space in between. That's okay. Do try to keep those centers lined up. Okay, I'm gluing my last point of my snowflake. Gluing the last one. See, it's all glued together. It's got a little space in between. That's okay if you don't like that. If you want to put a little glue, if you can reach in there with your glue stick and put a little glue, if you want to glue the centers together, you can, but it's okay that it's a little bit separated, a little bit more 3-dimensional. And then this is where you have to decide if you like the way the strips stick out past the petals. If you do, then of course just leave it. If you want to, you could take a pair of scissors and you could cut along that corner and cut off the strip. And I would do the 4 that are on the top so you can see the angle, and then flip it over and do the other 2. Then if you have a hole puncher at home, if you have a way to make a hole, you could punch a hole and tie a string so you can hang it. Okay, I'm going to flip it over and do the other 4. And that's your Carolina snowflake. Now you can make this with all sorts of different kinds of paper. You just need some long strips. You could try it with different lengths, but you could try it with wrapping paper. Try it with all sorts of different papers. You just need 12 long skinny strips. And there you go. I hope you guys had fun making your snowflake.